Alright, homies, we're rolling. Leaving Nashville here about 8 a.m. Central Time. And we're going to the Citico Wilderness. Alright, let's go. Alright, y'all. Gotta get some snacks. It was a super last minute trip, so honestly just decided to go on this trip yesterday, and this place has got a Dunkin' Express. Alright. So we're gonna run in here and get some snacks.
You can find out about all their selections, their tap room, and their charitable contributions over at tfbrew.com. The show's
Well, about 3 hours later, we're getting close to the mountains here. The Blue Ridge Mountains, Tennessee. Well, we're getting close to the trailhead. Just another mile or so. A little concerned though, I've been driving past a lot of hunters, which I didn't really know it was hunting season right now. And I don't know, just is what it is, I guess.
In the cool morning mist, the silhouette of a drifter clutching his guitar saunters across the 101. Bare feet on the beach, out of sight, out of reach. I feel the sea breeze in my hair. I walk alone.
Well, I'm just leaving the trailhead here and learned a good lesson today. Always check the hunting regulations for the area that you're going in. On the drive out here, I was just seeing hunters everywhere. And I didn't bring any orange, but thankfully, a very kind stranger gave me an orange vest. So I was a little bit worried when I got here. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this trip, but here we are in the Citico Wilderness. Got about a 15-mile loop is what's planned. Things might change. I've never been out here, so let's go. All right, y'all, I'm gonna show you a map here. They conveniently have one here. We are here, as it says, and we're gonna come down 105, connect to the South Forks Citico Creek Trail, which is also 105. Make a pretty good climb up to there, which I think is Cold Spring Gap. And then we're gonna take, let's see, 95 around this way to Cherry Log Gap, and then come back down the mountain via 98, which is also known as the North Forks Citico Creek Trail. And that's what we're gonna try and do. We're in southeast Tennessee in the Citico Wilderness, which is part of the southern half of the Cherokee National Forest. So in wilderness areas, there's often no trail markers or blazes. So right from the beginning, we're struggling to find the trail that we're looking for. Going into this trip, I kind of expect to get lost a little bit, just because of the nature of it being a wilderness area. I expect there to be a lot of creek crossings on this trip. We'll probably have around a dozen even today, maybe. Well, we need to cross the creek here to get to the trail. And might get our feet wet already, might not, we'll see. Okay, well, we finally found the South Fork of the Citico Trail after that little creek crossing there. It wasn't too challenging. My feet stayed dry. However, I don't think they'll stay dry for long. So we're hiking along this creek here for the first mile or so, I think.
Out of sight, out of reach, I feel the sea breeze in my hair. I walk alone, I don't care. I walk alone, I walk alone, I walk alone, I walk alone.
Okay, we're at a trail junction here. That's the North Fork of the Citico, trail number 98, and the South Fork, which is 105, which is what we'll be going in on. And if everything turns out right, we'll be coming back on that trail tomorrow. Though, if we do need to cut the trail a little bit short, we may take another trail back.
Disappear into the sun, and welcome back, universal love. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Where the sea tickles the continent, it seems a strange terrain, otherworldly, like that of another planet, populated only by rich people and their dogs. The drifter stinks of poverty, they say, but look at him, golden light, spilling from his head as he slips into a meditation. Write your name into the sand, daily bread from the mother's hand, casting lots to find our way. All I want is to hear those waves. All I want is to hear those waves.
Now we got to find the trail. I think it's right across there, but we'll see. So far, we've kept our feet dry. But I know we've got a lot more crossings to come. Does that look like a trail to you? Not quite. It's not too bad. It's pretty cold, but not bad. I guess I should mention, I think the high is about 64, 65 today, something like that. And I expect the lows to be in the mid 30s. And it does depend on how high up on the trail we stay. I think our max elevation is probably around 4,500 feet or so. So we're gonna go right up through that rhododendron thicket because I think the trail's up there. Like I said, the wilderness areas are largely unmarked, and the further you get away from the trailhead, the further you get away from nice trails. Well, I stumbled onto something here. Looks like it might be a trail. Well, I take it that's the trail. Doesn't much look like a trail, but we're gonna have to keep our eyes peeled on this one. Well, this is what we're walking through. Somewhat of a jungle through here. Now, I originally intended to do a 15-mile loop, and there is a little bit of a shorter way back. We can also do an out and back. kind of keeping it up to the elements, as they will probably decide how quickly I move through the Citico Wilderness. And as it is quite dense, which of course makes walking a little more challenging, a little slower. Hey, how y'all doing? I just saw those bear hunters back there. Asked them if they've seen any bear, and they said they hadn't yet. But they didn't seem to be too interested in chatting with me. But that's all right. I'm gonna stop here for a break, have a little lunch. Let's see what we got for lunch here. Got about 5 more miles on the South Fork of the Citico Creek Trail, and then we'll be climbing up to the ridge line, and we may be camping up on the ridge tonight. Not quite certain how far we'll get, just have to see. We got a late start. I think it's about 4:45 now. Sunset's around 7. You could night hike a little bit, but I'd rather not.
A seagull screams like a man dying in the night.
Well, this trail is kind of funny. It keeps going from wide and nice to a lot more closed in and brushy. Well, we just got out to our first view here. It's beautiful. I want to give you a little idea of what we're hiking through here. Pretty thick. Thankfully, there is signs of a trail, which is nice. So we can at least see where the trail is. I've hiked in some stuff like this before, where you can't even really make out a trail at all. So I think this is a good time of year to come here, to be honest, because any earlier in the year, let's say July or August, this would be even more overgrown than it is right now. So one thing I really like about backpacking is it kind of forces you to be present. So, you're watching the trail for hazards, for roots, for rocks, for snakes, watching for bear, listening to all the sounds. There's no other choice but to be in the moment. It's when you're out here, and it's a nice moment out here, no doubt. Well, we all know what this is. Bear poop. Well, we've come to our next trail junction, and we're gonna stick to 105. This right here would be a nice little campsite, but we're gonna keep on going. 2 miles to the top till we get to Cold Spring Gap, and not necessarily counting on there being cold spring there, so I'm gonna pack a little bit of water before we start climbing. Actually, probably a fair amount of water, because I believe we'll be camping up there tonight, up along the ridge somewhere. Well, we're still walking. This time we're walking through this thick brush. It could be worse though. It got worse. Stuff's really thick. I think I need to stop filming though so I can use my trekking poles to help me get through this stuff. It's about up to my chin. Well, just stopped here for some water. It might be the last water source for the day. Not certain though, but we're about to start the ascent up to the ridgeline. We got about 1,000-foot climb or so. So I'm gonna stock up on enough water to last me tonight and tomorrow morning. Here's this little spring, and I think I can maybe fit this down in that little hole. Get some water that way. We'll see. It's not a big stream, but I think it'll do. And then I'm gonna take that water and put it in my larger flask there. That's I think that's 3 liters, so I'm gonna fill that most of the way up. All right, off we go. Well, we made it to the top. Still got a fair amount of sunlight, which is great. Looks like this is a little campsite up here, and there's an old logging road, an old road there. So we're gonna continue on, I don't know, probably a couple more miles, and find a little flat spot to set up camp. Got all the water that I need, which is sweet. So we can pretty much set up camp wherever now. And yep, see you later. Here's our trail sign. And for this little moment, we're on the Benton Mackay Trail, which is pretty cool. But we're not going to be on it for long because we're headed to the left down Fodder Sock Trail number 95. Well, my plan for this evening is pretty much to get as far as I can and as close to the car as I can. So we have a shorter day tomorrow, and we can get back home on Sunday and rest up a bit before the work week. Kind of looks like we're gonna be hugging this ridge here, not quite on top of the ridge, but right on the side of it. So might be challenging for the first little bit to find a campsite, but it seems like a couple miles up kind of flattens out into a little gap. So hopefully we can make it to that gap, but beautiful view out there. Yeah. Well, I guess I forgot to mention earlier, I've got a some new pieces of gear I'm trying out this trip. The main one being a new shelter. I got a tarp for this trip, so we'll see how it works tonight. I've set it up a few times in the backyard, but you know, just still not too experienced with it. Well, right now we're following this ridge around, and we're gonna wrap it all the way around there. And I think our campsite is gonna be just around that bend. I think so. Who knows? Well, we're getting really close to camp. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to have some dinner. Got some beef stroganoff, and I have my twig stove to cook with. We should be getting to a nice flat spot here where the next trail meets this trail, and hopefully it's not all overgrown. But even up through there's a bunch of flat spots. So we'll see. Hopefully there's a little established spot up here. Well, there didn't seem to be a established campsite up there. So we're gonna find a little stealth spot back here and make a campsite for tonight. Well, I think I've found my spot for tonight. Right there. Not half bad. I got it done. It's not a perfect pitch, but it'll do. Let's go check it out. So I got it tacked down pretty far on that side because that's where the majority of the wind seems to be coming. And got it opened up a little higher over there, just to make it a little easier to get in and out. It's not supposed to rain it all night, but have it up just in case. It's a Z-Pax 7x9 DCF tarp. Super, super light. Alright. I'm gonna get my pad set up. I've never seen anything like that before. Gonna get this twig stove fired up and have some dinner and some hot tea. Looking forward to it. I'm pretty darn hungry. On the menu this evening, we have some beef stroganoff and we got some tea. Looks like we got a boil. Start off with this tea here. Probably should have started off with the food to make sure I got enough water for the food. But I need that hot water in me. Tell you what, it's cold. Smell it already. Good. Be ready in about 12 minutes or so.
If you need me, I'm out in the pines, start raving naked and losing my mind. If you need me, I'm far from the path, as this sacred mountain smiles and laughs, as this sacred mountain smiles and laughs at this fool in the garden at play in the sun. Invisible friends are nothing but fun. So many inside me, I eat their dreams like a giant that's sleeping and grinding the scene. In that sacred silence, when the opponent is slain, I'm finally free of bitterness and pain, and the sky knows no fear. The birds start to sing, and there's not a thought of anything. There's not a thought of anything.
Well, I'm gonna fish my food out here. I'm gonna get my food out of my bag now and chow down. Oh, that smells good. Yes, please. Oh, the bag's warm too. Ooh, feels good in my hands. Oh yeah, nice and hot. That is good. You know, even mediocre food tastes so good out here. Well, I'm gonna finish up dinner and drink that tea and hit the sack. Got the bear line up. Ready to go chill. So I changed up my tarp pitch a little bit. I lowered the back here. There's actually quite a bit of wind coming up. So pretty much tack that all the way down. There's a little space there, but not much. And it's pretty low on the other side too, so should do the trick. Well, good morning. From beneath the tarp. Got a nice view under here. Oh boy. Looks like the sun's starting to come up over there. I'm gonna get up, go get my food bag, and start making some coffee. I woke up a couple times in the middle of the night to a big animal moving through here. I don't quite know what it was, but I certainly scared it off. I heard it moving through, and I came out with my flashlight and went, "Hey!" And it ran off that way down the mountain, but I'll tell you another interesting thing about last night is I went to bed and it was, I'd say 35. And then, I don't know, I woke up in the middle of the night and it had warmed up a lot. I just checked and it's about 50 degrees now, I think. Let me see here. Yeah, about 48 or so. So, kind of weird. That normally doesn't happen. But I was grateful. I was grateful. dead silent last night. It still is pretty quiet now, but I mean, last night, I'd say this was the quietest campsite I've ever been at. There was hardly any wind. There's no stream around here or anything like that. Wow, it was nice. It was nice except for the fact that when it's that quiet, a squirrel sounds like a moose, you know, walking across the forest floor. Alright, let's get this twig stove going. Nice. Yeah, I'll say the twig stove, I mean, if you're just trying to boil enough for a meal, you know, like a dehydrated meal, like 8-12 ounces, it's pretty effective and it doesn't take long. But like last night, I was boiling probably about 10 cups or so, and that takes a while, but this should not take too long at all. So what I use for coffee generally is I have a pour over, and I got coffee grounds. And that's like, I've done instant coffee before, but I don't know, I've just always liked it this way. It's a little more work, no doubt, but it's worth it. And it obviously makes a better cup of coffee than instant coffee. One thing about the twig stove is like, it does take a lot longer than a canister stove, but I find that while it's cooking, sometimes I'll like go and do some camp chores. That way, sure, it does take a lot longer, but I'm also accomplishing tasks while it's doing its thing. There's this real kind of connection to nature that I feel when I use the twig stove. You know, I'm using the natural elements around me that I find in camp to cook and to, you know, put calories in my body to then hike out the next day. What is this? You know, I think a cup of coffee in the morning is almost one of my favorite things about a backpacking trip. It's just so tasty out here. Day 2, Citico Wilderness, southeastern Tennessee. We're in the southern Appalachian Mountains. Oh yeah. Wow, that's good. That's a good cup of joe. Got about, not certain how many miles we got back to the car. I'd say about 6. Oh yeah, we're just gonna have this cup of coffee, and where'd my cookie go? Have a cookie for breakfast. See, the thing I like about these, they don't taste great, but they have 420 calories, which is nice. It kind of feels like a breakfast. Well, guys, I'm gonna eat the cookie, have my coffee, and get packed up and see you out on the trail. All right, time to hike. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not sure I'd want to go down to the Brush Mountain Trail number 7. Can't even really see it. But the sun's coming up. It's a beautiful day. And hopefully we can follow this trail. So the main objective for today, other than have a good time, is we're gonna be following this trail, which kind of goes along the ridge line for about 1.5 miles. And then we're gonna get to Cherry Log Gap. And we meet up with the North Fork Citico Trail, and we're gonna take that down to the car. Well, silly me, we took a wrong turn, so we gotta head back about 0.1 miles that way, 1/10 of a mile, and get to the correct intersection. Well, we're back on trail now, and yeah, I'm gonna have a snack. I'm gonna have a cookie, have the rest of my cookie, and some water. Yum. It actually tastes kind of bad. They're not great, but they do the trick.
Gentle, you whimper like a child, but you growl and moan when we're romping through the wild. You eat the weak, but I am strong. If I can tame my crazy heart, then I'm sure we'll get along.
Now, it may be a bit hard to see in this video, but you can see this mountain here kind of wraps around. We're going to be hiking alongside that mountain for a couple miles, and then we're going to drop down into the creek and hike that way back to the car. And I must say, it is a beautiful morning for hiking. I mean, the weather is perfect. The birds are chirping, well, some birds. And yeah, it's just wonderful to be out here. It's like, you know, the day before I came out here, I guess the night before, I was deciding, should I go, should I stay? Just go, just do it, man. Just go do the things you want to do. All right.
You are the hermit now, I understand. You're older than your years, but younger than your plan. A Leo, shining in the night. You have the vision, you have the light. That tattoo needle, like a rose between your teeth, stops you from making promises that you can never keep.
Beautiful. I hear a creek up here, and this is actually the headwaters of the North Fork Citico Creek. So it'll be kind of cool to see the very beginning of it, as we'll be hiking on that all day. And it is just a magnificent morning. Absolutely beautiful. It seems like the maples are starting to put on their fall outfit. Yep, here's the beginning of North Citico Creek. Please, people, pack your trash out. What is this? Kind of looks like little diapers. What you doing leaving your diapers in the woods? Well, it's just a plastic bag. I'm gonna pack these out. Got some poop. I don't know what kind it is. It's pretty fresh. Well, I believe we've reached Cherry Log Gap. Got a nice campsite here too. Look at that. Beautiful. If I just hiked a little further last night, I could have made it here. Well, we're currently on the border of North Carolina and Tennessee here. I think I was mistaken. That actually wasn't Cherry Log Gap, but we'll be reaching it soon. But on the left side over here is Tennessee, and on the right side is North Carolina. Pretty cool. Over here on the North Carolina side, you can see some mountains through the trees. Beautiful. So now we've reached Cherry Log Gap, and we're going to continue right down that trail. Well, it doesn't look like much of a trail, but that's where we're going. And I think I'm going to sit here and have a snack and hydrate. This here's a rain skirt that I made. And I knew it wasn't going to rain this trip, but I brought it anyways because it's a great ground sheet. It keeps your butt off the dirt. And you can use it to take a nap or something like that too. Nutter butters, and we've got some chocolate breakfast essentials. This is kind of like a toddler meal or a toddler snack. I feel like chocolate milk and nutter butter. Also, I'm just not realizing that I had cookies for breakfast and now I'm having cookies as a snack. This hike is fueled by cookies. Well, that was a nice break, and we're gonna keep hiking. We got 5.8 miles to go. I think this morning when I told y'all we had 6, I was a little bit mistaken. I was a mile or so off. So we got 5.8. Let's ride. So now we're on the North Fork Citico Trail, and we're gonna descend off this ridge, and then we'll be hiking along the creek for pretty much the remainder of the trip. This is what we're walking through. Somewhat of a trail. It appears now that the creek becomes a trail, or the trail becomes the creek. The ecosystem just changes so quickly. I mean, just a minute ago we were in more like a hardwood type of forest with maples and oaks. And now we're amidst the rhododendrons. Okay, we've reached our intersection for the North Fork Citico Creek Trail, number 98. It's a mouthful. And we're gonna keep on keeping on. I think we got about 5 miles to go. There's the trail, and here's the creek we're following. Looks like we're coming up on a waterfall here. Wow. That is beautiful. Well, I'm a little thirsty. I'm gonna get some water here. I'm walking along here and just about stepped in that poop. Watch out. A lot of poop on the trail, guys. Beware. Also, I'd just like to note whoever's poop this is, I don't know if it's a bear or some kind of other animal, but chew your food a little bit better, bud. Look at those seeds. Wow. Pick up your trash, kids. Come on now. I know Snickers are yummy, but they don't belong on the ground. Got another poop alert. My dude, you gotta start chewing. You know, maybe he's got a toothache, and that's why he's not chewing those seeds. But that stuff looks fresh. Oops. I think that was a bear farting. Ooh, wow. That's real fresh. We see evidence of Mr. Bear think that's the same bear. It looks like, I mean, it looks like he's got the same diet as all those other poops. Huh. Pretty fresh. We'll see if we see him. Wouldn't it be funny to be walking along and you see the bear just squatting on the trail taking a dump? Just the image of that is pretty funny to me. Very nice campsite back in there. I think we're about 2 miles from the car. Well, the trail came from that way, and now I've ended up in the river here, but I don't know where to go now. So we're just gonna head downstream a bit and see where it takes us. Woo! I fell there. Okay. I got my heart going. You know, I'd say doing a creek crossing with a bunch of mossy rocks with a camera in your hand, probably not the best idea. Another creek crossing, and for this one I'm just getting wet. It's gonna feel good, honestly. My feet are getting tired, no doubt. This cold water will help. Oh, feels good. Nice campsite here. I'll say on the North Fork Citico Trail, nearly 2 miles away from the trailhead. There's a lot of really nice campsites. So if you're just looking for a couple mile hike in, you could take the North Fork in a couple miles and find a lot of really pleasing campsites. And the water's a lot warmer than I thought it'd be, so I might take a little swim to rinse off for the car ride home. We'll see.
I see you with a baseball hat and a cup of glue. From time to time you're calling to my mind, take the hands of the clock and break the telephone line. My. On the top of the hill lays Jack and Jill. On the top of the hill lays Jack and Jill. Well, some days you're on the ground and some days you just lay around.
Wow. That is magnificent. Wow. Well, we're approaching the end of our trip here, and it's been absolutely stunning out here in the Citico Wilderness. I didn't really know what to expect, but boy, is it beautiful. And the trails are nice too. I mean, they're definitely a little bushwhacky at times, but that's kind of fun. I kind of enjoy that stuff. What do we have here? We have the sign. Awesome. Alright guys, we've made it back to the trail junction with the North Fork Citico Trail and the South Fork Citico Trail, which is what we hiked yesterday. So happy to be here, and 0.6 miles to the car. Let's go. Well, this is our last stream crossing, and I'm gonna miss these streams out here. Sure are beautiful. Well, we've emerged from the wilderness, and I know I've said it multiple times, but I'll say it again. That was a wonderful trip. I think it was the second solo trip I've done of the year. I do really enjoy solo backpacking. I also enjoy it with other people too. But that was a great solo trip, and we'll definitely be coming back here again. It was really nice, and there's also a lot of other trails to explore. And one thing that I didn't mention, which we might be able to see on the map here, is the Citico Wilderness actually connects to the Joyce Kilmer Slick Rock Wilderness, which is right here. So that's kind of cool. So, I mean, I don't know how many miles of trails there are between the two, but quite a lot. Scraped up.
Leo, Leo. You beat the weak,
All scraped
but
up.
I am strong.
Alright, well that does it. What a wonderful trip in the Citico Wilderness of southeastern Tennessee and North Carolina for about a quarter of a mile. Anyways, thanks for watching. Until next time.